Hi everyone. Before we get started, I want to talk about this video. This is actually my second time making this. I still have the old version, but I made that back when I only had a Chromebook and didn't have my PC yet. Because of that, the old video was glitchy and buggy. I couldn't add any real detail without the whole thing crashing. Now that I have a better setup, I can finally make this the right way. If you like this sort of thing, then definitely leave a like on the video. I am still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with this channel, but for now, this is going to be my main project for the month. Now that I've pointed that out, I think we should just get straight to the point. Roleplay has been around since the late 1900s, starting with games like Dungeons and Dragons. But in modern culture, it is considered more of a niche hobby. It is no longer just about killing dragons or clearing out goblin baddies. Instead, it has turned into exploring a persona. The core of modern roleplay is the persona. And to be real with you, everyone is using modern roleplay. It is not just a specific type of person anymore. Maybe it is a shy kid who wants to be a leader, or an adult with a boring job who wants to feel powerful for a few hours. We have to look at VR chat. This is where the idea of person real takes over. In VR chat, you aren't just typing as a character, you are literally wearing them. You pick an avatar, and suddenly, you have a new body, a new face, and a new way to move. This is where people truly start to part from their real selves. You can be a giant robot, a tiny anime character, or something completely alien. Your real world appearance doesn't matter anymore. We follow in real life start to disappear. You can be whoever you want, but that also means people can be their worst selves without any fear of getting caught. The danger is that when you spend too much time as a person with no consequences, it becomes harder to go back to the real world, where your actions actually matter. The proof is everywhere. In VR chat, you see people acting in ways they would never dream of in real life. Because they read behind an avatar, they feel untouchable. But in this video we won't be talking about VR chat, as I never spent large amounts of time on it, but also, it has already been talked about all over YouTube. If you think roleplay is just Discord servers and Amino, you're barely scratching the surface. Most people who RP or ERP over text stay in the mainstream because they don't know any better, but if you're serious about one-on-one stories and your OCs, there is a whole world of niche, mobile-owned apps for finding real partners that you've probably never even heard of. I am talking from personal experience here, moving away from the big platforms to places that actually care about the writing. Today, we're diving into the hidden gems of the RP world, apps like Mascot and Zervo that give you the freedom, the privacy, and the specific one-on-one tools that the big platforms won't. Mascot was all about the text. It was founded by a company called Authors Temple Inc., and it quickly became the go-to spot for mobile role players. It was more like a matchmaking app, but for your OCs. Well, actual lie. The app was basically Tinder, but for role-playing. You'd swipe through different characters, and original characters, or rods, until you found a partner that matched your writing style. During those years, the community was huge. You weren't just finding a partner for quick game, you were finding someone to build a months-long story with. It was all about that one-on-one connection. For a while, Mascot was everything. But eventually, things started to shift. The community was growing fast, and with that growth came a lot of new problems that the small team struggled to handle. Apps like this are fragile. When the bugs start piling up, or the moderation gets messy, role players start looking for an exit strategy. That is when everyone started talking about Zervo. A social world that was going to take everything Mascot did and make it bigger and better. It wasn't an overnight move, but you could feel the momentum shifting. People were putting their Zervo IDs in their Mascot bios, preparing for the day the lights finally went out on the app we had called home for years. When Mascot started to fade, I'll be honest, I felt pretty sad and lost. I didn't know where I was supposed to go next, or what would happen to the stories I was writing. I didn't want to lose that connection or the way I was used to role-playing. So I started asking other users on the platform if they knew about any apps that were similar to Mascot. Everyone gave me the same answer: go to Zervo. At the time, it felt like that was really the only option we had left if we wanted to keep our community alive, so I made the jump. I packed up my personas and moved over to Zervo, hoping it would be the new home everyone promised it would be. When I first opened Zervo, I realized right away that it was a completely different beast than Mascot. It wasn't just about swiping, it was about exploring worlds and planets. In Zervo, worlds were basically massive themed communities. Each one was its own canvas. You could find worlds inspired by anime, fantasy, or even complete original lore that people had spent months building. But that complexity was also a bit overwhelming. Coming from the simple one-on-one vibe of Mascot, inside a single world, you'd have different channels for the roleplay. It felt way more organized and professional. While the developers pushed the planet system as the future of the app, the truth is, it kind of sucked at actual attracting casual users. The worst part about the planets was the activity illusion. You'd see a planet with 5,000 members, but when you actually joined, the main chat was just dead air or people spamming stickers. It was all numbers, no life. You were surrounded by thousands of worlds, but you couldn't find a single person to actually write a paragraph with. On paper, a massive themed world sounds cool, but in reality it was just too much work. But it ended up being Discord, but worse. I decided to stick to one-on-ones because, honestly, I didn't necessarily love the Tinder-style system Mascot had, but I didn't mind it either. That's just how I prefer to roleplay. Because these planets were just social hubs and not actual worlds, the competition for attention was brutal. It was a return to my roots, back to the style I first learned on Mascot, but when I actually tried to find a partner, it was like walking into a ghost town. It felt like no one was picking me. ID post, ID reach out, and ID just wait. Nothing. But as soon as I opened the RP HUD Explorer, the entire feed was a total NSFW freak show. It was a flood. It wasn't just a few 18+ posts here and there. They were fucking everywhere. You were either part of the NSFW freak show. If you just wanted to write a one-on-one story, it would turn into a hookup over text, and that's not even a joke. I wanted to see if I was just being paranoid, so I decided to run a little experiment. I reached out to a user for Simple Q and just asking about their experience on the app and their history with role-playing. Normal stuff, right? Hello.
Hey.
How are you, brah? At first, it was fine. We were talking about years on the app and our preferences before I would ask, so what kind of things do you want to find on here anyway?
Some normal RP, some NSFW, and some just people wanted to goon.
Are you the type to goon on here?
No, I'm a mix of RP and gooning, but I'm mostly to RPs.
Oh, so like what's your type or plot that you like to RP with?
I like to do creepy or horror RP with Buell up in SFW, or sometimes to shows.
Only takes a few messages before the conversation is completely hijacked by NSFW demands. They would ask what I was interested when role-playing. I'll be honest, I hadn't touched this app in 2 years, but I will talk about it at the end of the video. But I'm not into role-playing anymore, but it did help me with my writing, if that helps. I'd just think I won't be as good as I used to.
Well, I know it might be weird, but you're cute in real life. LOL, maybe explore your body and be gentle if you like to be gentle.
We are cooked.
Oh, well, I'm mostly horny and I want someone that can handle it. Yo, bro, what are you making me read? This is pretty fucking gay.
Even if I'm 20 negative 4.
Oh.
Breathe, breathe, breathe. That's okay.
Seeing that freak show, it made me realize that the app culture had completely rotted. It didn't matter how good my writing was, or how much effort I put into my OCs. If I wasn't part of that 18+ side of the app, I was just a ghost to all the aliens. You'd scroll through the trending planets, and instead of cool lore or character art, it was just a wall of suggestive images and explicit bait. It makes sense why the app is a ghost town now. When an app becomes nothing but a hub for that kind of content, the NSFW freak show won. They can have the planets, they can have the HUD, and they can have the silence. But my time are worth more than profile predators the app attracts.